not supposed to be able to do this in the NBA. The Lakers are now 13-4 and have assembled what appears to be a legitimate big three where all three guys can eat at the same time. And the Clippers game showed us just how good this team can be when Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reaves all get it going in the same game. Luka stepped into this game and just continued to do what he's been doing all season long. He opened the game with a cross-court dart to Rui for the open three, then turned around, set a perfect screen on Zubac, then flashing open for a quick catch and shoot three, which he knocked down, and right before the Clippers could even react. Luka got James Harden on a switch, hit him with the step back and buried another like it was nothing. Now feeling it, he pulled up from way behind the hash mark and cashed in on a heat check that had no business going in. And of course it dropped. When Luka Dončić gets rolling like this to open a game, it completely sets the tone because there really isn't anything a defense can do with that level of sheer shot making. And he did not stop there. Still in the opening quarter, Luka rotated over to block James Harden at the rim, then got the ball back from Smart, goes coast to coast and completes the play with a tough finish. That's the kind of two-way athletic play that you never saw from Luka last season. You can just tell that his conditioning is noticeably better than just a year ago. He's moving quicker in transition, and he's able to sustain this level of aggression for far longer stretches. This version of Luka doesn't just put the ball in the basket. He pressures the game in ways he was not doing just a year ago. This is where he becomes impossible to defend here, snaking his way through the lane, drawing the contact, and then finishing over the top of Kawhi. I mean, there's really no answer for that. And then he closes the first half with a classic Luka step-back three, then turns to the Clippers bench and gives them some choice words, letting them know that he is fully in the zone. And when Luka is feeling like this, you're basically just hanging on and hoping that the damage isn't too bad. But spoiler alert, it was. Now in the third quarter, he did cool off a little bit, mostly settling for step-backs instead of attacking inside. But every time he did get downhill, the Lakers were getting something good. Here he forces a double team inside, and the Clippers completely forget about Marcus Smart, who's wide open for a layup. Here, he gets a switch on the rookie Sanders and bullies him straight into the paint for the foul and one. The next time down, the Clippers don't want to leave Sanders on the island, so they send help. And that leaves Smart wide open in the corner for three, and he's good enough to knock it down. That right there is the Luka effect. You don't just guard him, you have to rearrange your entire defense to stop him, and the Lakers fed off of every mistake that creates. From there, Luka really started to lean heavily into the playmaking here, hitting LeBron on a beautiful cut for the foul and one. Then out of the pick and roll with Jackson Hayes, he punishes Dunn for cheating too far off of Austin. So he sprays it for Reaves for a corner three, which he makes. And here, back in the Hayes pick and roll, he notices Zub playing him too high. So he throws it upstairs for Jax for the finish. Luka set the tone early in this game as a scorer and then closed the door as a passer. And that's the exact reason why he is impossible to try and game plan against. If you do send the extra bodies, he's good enough to find every weak spot on the floor. And if you don't, he's just going to walk into whatever shot he wants. And when he's feeling it, you're basically cooked either way. But the part that makes this version of the Lakers so scary is the guys standing next to him. LeBron James and Austin Reaves appear to be the perfect complements for Luka, at least offensively, and both of them have made real changes this season. Reaves has completely blossomed into an all-star level scorer. Last season, he was putting up 25-6 on 60% shooting, and this season he's jumped up to 28-6 and 7 on 64% true shooting. That's a mammoth leap. And the best part about all of this is how he's doing it without always needing the ball in his hands every single possession. With all of this defensive attention going towards Luka and LeBron, Reaves is either playing one-on-one, attacking mismatches, or catching defense is still recovering from helping somewhere else. That's exactly why Austin looks so comfortable in this game. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals, while nearly shooting 70% from the floor, as the game has just slowed down for him so much. And then you have LeBron, who's fully embraced his new role. In the 2 games versus the Jazz, he showed off the playmaking version of himself. 12 assists, then 8 assists. But against the Clippers, he blended it all together with the scoring, finishing with 256 and 6 with 2 stocks on 60% shooting. But what stood out the most was how seamlessly he was playing off of Luka's gravity. When they shared the floor, LeBron slid into that secondary initiator role beautifully. And when he ran with Reaves, LeBron wasn't forcing anything as a scorer, letting Austin handle most of the creation, and he just picked his spots. That's the version of LeBron James that this team needs. He's not the guy who's going to carry an offense for 40 minutes every night anymore, and he knows it. But if he's your third option, stepping into a Draymond Green-type connector role on the offensive side of the floor while still being able to give you 20 points whenever he wants, that is absolutely terrifying. Defensively, there were real concerns though, especially in that first half, but they were able to tighten up when they needed to, and that's kind of been the story of this team. Even though they're only ranked 15th in the NBA for defensive rating, they've been the #1 clutch time defense in basketball this season. So when they lock into the margins and the details on the defensive side of the floor, they turn into a completely different team. They just scored 135 points, completely dismantling the Clippers without Ayton. And this was the clearest look yet at how dangerous this trio is going to be this season when everything clicks. Combine that with what we just saw in the 2 Utah games, and the trend becomes pretty hard to ignore. Those 2 games against the Jazz were not about Utah. They were more about what this Lakers team actually looks like with LeBron back in the mix. In his first game back, the Lakers hung 140 points on the Jets, their highest total of the season, and LeBron quietly dished 12 assists in just 28 minutes, his highest assist total in nearly a full calendar year. And it wasn't loud or complete takeover basketball. It was just him sliding in, connecting everything, and changing the way the team functioned. Luka was brilliant, posting 37, 5, 10, and 4 on 50% shooting. Reaves added 26 on elite efficiency, and DeAndre Ayton had one of his best games of the season with 20 points and 14 rebounds. But the real story was how the offense looked when Luka and LeBron were together. 22 combined assists, cleaner spacing, smoother reads, and a level of control that made everybody's job easier. The second Utah game, though, was the complete opposite. The Lakers went from dropping 140 in a blowout win to barely surviving a 108-106 win, and they really should have lost this game. The shooting completely evaporated, just 26% from 3, and LeBron, Luka, and Reaves combined to shoot just 4 of 24 from deep. Even with all the 3-point misses, the production was still there. Luka put up 33, 11, and 3 with 3 steals, while LeBron added 8 more assists. And Reaves gave them 22, 10 boards, but the focus just wasn't there. They played down to the Jazz, lost all their defensive discipline, and let the game get too messy late. And that contrast is the real takeaway. One game shows the ceiling with the big 3 locked in, overwhelming teams with creation and space, but the other showed the floor, the lapses, the sloppiness, and not taking enough care with the margins, doing the little things that win games. That gap is what makes the Lakers both terrifying and unpredictable, because when their stars are aligned and they're able to lock in on the little details, they are an incredibly good basketball team. When you watch this team fully healthy, the first thing that really stands out is that the Lakers don't have a traditional big 3. They have 3 legitimate creators who can all run offense at an all-star level, and each of them can shift between being the primary engine, the secondary option, or the off-ball pressure point depending on the possession. That kind of versatility is so rare, and when all 3 are in their ideal roles, the offense becomes completely unguardable. It all starts with Luka Dončić. He isn't just scoring. He's breaking that initial line of the defense way more often than he did last season. He's constantly blowing by that first defender, forcing rotations, and that's completely putting teams into the washing machine. And when that happens, everything becomes simple. Send an extra to Luka, and it's a quick swing 3. Play soft, and he gets downhill. Player drop coverage, and it's either a pocket pass or a floater. And if you don't send help, he's going to put up 40 on your head. Luka's job is to create the initial problem. And when he does, the Lakers suddenly look like one of the league's most efficient half-court offensive systems. This is also why calling Reaves the third option just doesn't make any sense. He's a secondary creator who's been far more effective attacking a defense that Luka has already broken, while also proving that he's able to step up and run the offense all by himself. With Luka drawing pressure and LeBron organizing the structure of the offense, Reaves is getting ideal matchups and ideal spacing pretty much every time he touches the ball. Now, his role isn't to carry the possessions anymore. It's to punish the advantages, and that's exactly why he's been able to average nearly 30 points per game without forcing a thing. But the biggest shift is LeBron. For the first time in years, he isn't being asked to save possessions. He's being instructed to organize them. In this role, he's stabilizing pace, quarterbacking in transition, punishing overreactions, and directing actions like a coach on the floor. And because his usage rate is far lower, he's picking his scoring spots with purpose instead of obligation. His job is to raise the IQ for every possession and make life incredibly easy for everybody else out there. And so far, I think he's done a fantastic job at that when the big three are all in the perfect spots. This Lakers offense is well and truly good enough to be a contender. But even with the shot making and the synergy on the offensive side of the floor, the cracks were still there to see. The small details separating this Lakers team from a true contender to just a good team, and that's where we have to go next. The crazy thing about this Lakers team is that their ceiling is so obvious. When Luka, Reaves, and LeBron are all cooking, the offense becomes unsolvable. We all know that. But if we zoom out, there are three key issues that are holding them back from being a legitimate contender out in the Western Conference. The first issue is definitely the defense. The Lakers gave up 36 points in the first quarter in LeBron's return game against Utah, and then another 38 against the Clippers in the opening quarter. That's not scheme, it's just execution. The breakdowns are constant. They're 15th in defensive rating, allowing 115 points per 100 possessions, which is solid considering all the mistakes. The second problem is the turnovers. They're 26th in turnover rate in the NBA, giving up the ball on 16.3% of their possessions. Basically, a 1 in 6 chance that the play ends going in the other direction. And because the roster isn't built to stop the transition, those plays are often pick sixes, resulting in automatic points for the opposition. The good news is that they only had 11 turnovers against the Clippers, their best mark in quite a while. But they need to continue to trend in that direction because to win a championship, you cannot be a team that hands out momentum every couple of possessions. Then the third issue with the Lakers is the shot selection, specifically Luka's relationship with the step-back three. It is lethal when it's falling, don't get me wrong, but the problem is what happens when it isn't. Since November 10th, he's taking 10.5 threes a game at just 30%. That's a massive volume with not very good efficiency. And because those shots are coming early in the clock, they break the flow of the offense that thrives when Luka attacks and gets into the paint. When Luka gets downhill, the entire offensive system opens up for everybody else, including him. But when Dončić settles, possessions die, and these long step-back threes turn into long rebounds, which then turn into transition looks for your opponents, which we've already stated that the Lakers cannot defend. Now, nobody is saying that he should stop taking the butt. There's a clear difference between getting to the step back when the defense is giving it to you and settling for that look because you don't want to get into the paint. And that brings us to the question everyone's been circling. Could the Lakers actually become a legit threat in the West? They started 12-4 without LeBron for that entire stretch to survive cold shooting nights and injuries, while still producing one of the league's most effective offenses when Luka was on the floor. And now with LeBron back, we're already seeing what this trio can do when they're all cooking at the same time. 99 points and 22 dimes against the Clippers in a game that realistically never felt like it was in jeopardy. That's not a fluke. I think it's a preview. But being a real threat isn't about what you look like when the shots are falling. It's about how you survive the ugly games. And quietly, that's where this team's been elite. They're 6-0 in clutch games this season. They have the best clutch time defense in the NBA. And they've already won games this year where they genuinely looked awful for stretches. That's the sign of a great team surviving the ugly nights and still pulling out with wins. And the craziest part is that this still isn't their final form. The defense has not clicked. The three-point shooting is way below where it should be. They've dealt with more injuries than anybody in the league. And even with all of that, They have a 13-4 record, good for the 2 seed in the Western Conference. If they are able to tighten up that defense more consistently, clean up the turnovers, and keep building the chemistry with LeBron in this new connector-type role on offense, then yes, I think they can absolutely become a legitimate problem in the West. And look, as good as the Lakers are trending right now, they are not a finished product yet. But I believe the Denver Nuggets are just that. I picked them to win the championship coming into this season, and they have done nothing to sway me of that opinion. And if you want to see why I believe Denver are going to be champions yet again, then you can see that full breakdown video right now.